Hi everyone, it's Toby from Toby's Urban Sketch. Welcome to part one of Les Eclairiers. I think that's how you say it. Beautiful lighthouse, and one of a series of lighthouses I chose to do as a sort of lighthouse series up as a card selection on my website. We're going to be doing the line work now and the watercolors in an upcoming video. Now this is a much more detailed sketch, and you can see from these reference photos that it's really beautiful, incredibly scenic. And another really fun bit is all those birds. So let's see how I put together, this time an A3 using my fine-tipped Lamisfori fountain pen, and the kind of fun we can have putting in lots of details and textures. So like I said, I'm using a fine-tipped Lamisfori pen, and this is on an A3 piece of paper, cold pressed, slightly textured watercolour paper. The advantage of using a fine tip on such a large piece of paper is just the pure amount of detail and texture that you can get on your page. Just starting, despite the amount of detail we're going to do, I'm really just starting with massive shapes here. So I've turned the lighthouse into basically three rectangles with slightly rounded ends. Then it's got this beautiful cliff that it's sat on, and from that I'm kind of just picking out the big shapes. And then in the background we've got the horizon, and we've got a little bit of sort of mountains and things in the background. All of these things can just be loose shapes at the beginning. You'll notice I'm using my fountain pen upside down, so it's a fine tip, but if we flip our fountain pen over we'll get an even finer tip, and that lets us get a really loose edge, a really gentle sort of wobbly line, but one that we can build up gradually rather than just popping down one line and having it super bold already. And you can see we're already being able to get some details and things going from that. Now the reference I'm using, I actually used a couple of different references to build this up. I think I took a lot of the composition from one, but then I used colours from another. So I've just popped up one example reference for you to have a look at, as well as a link to it. This one's on Unsplash, so it's royalty free. But this is just a collection of my take on different viewpoints and just trying to pick out the fun colours. You can see here, just trying to really build a lot of detail into the lighthouse. So started off with some horizontal lines to build in where I'm going to put my bricks, and then creating bricks. And I'm actually trying quite hard here to make my bricks overlap. They're not totally random, they're fairly random, they're not all the same size, but I did want that idea of the bricks overlapping. Now this whole process takes a while, so I'm just going to speed it up for you, the rest of it. But you can see I sort of did it in these three coloured areas, the red, the white, the red. The reason I did the red first is because the tone is higher, the darkness is higher there, and I thought, let's see what it looks like when I've done those. And then if I need to pull it back a little bit for the white area, then we can pull it back. We can take a different approach. I didn't have to do that in the end. Now, when I finished doing all these bricks, what I wanted to do was recapture those three areas, recapture my outline. So I'm not doing one bold line, although zoomed out it might look like there's one bold line. I'm actually going up and down. There's lots of loose lines making up these edges. And again, we can then go in and use those really fine lines to do a little bit of hatching and create some tone already. And this really sets the benchmark for the rest of the piece. This is our focal point. This is where all the detail is. And now everything else can sort of go a little bit under that in terms of level of detail, but we can match the level of detail elsewhere to this lighthouse. One thing I loved about a lot of the reference photos was all of these birds. I've actually painted this lighthouse before, and I did it as a quick 10-minute challenge, I think, and so I didn't really have a chance to sketch in all these birds and get all these shapes of the rock and things. But I really wanted to make a big feature of these birds, and it was fun doing it here, and also I really enjoyed the approach I took in the watercolours, which you'll see, of course, in the upcoming video. With the birds themselves, I'm just capturing them as the basic shape of almost like an egg with a little egg on top, so taking them back to basics. And some of them I just got these little wing shapes, suggestions that their wings are open, to just give some variety. You can see here popping them along the horizon, making them sort of pop out silhouetted against the sky, and just getting them different shapes, different heights, but fundamentally all nicely simplified. Now my plan for the bricks is to find those sort of structural planar lines. So wanting to split the cliff up into different areas where there's different textures, where the plane, so the shape of the rock is facing a different direction. And that's what these initial bigger lines are about. When we've got those big areas separated out, we can start pulling them into sort of smaller subplanes, if you like. So for example, at the front here, you can see me pulling out little cracks in the rock. And we just gradually build up those shapes, and sometimes we just have to be really gradual and a little bit painstaking. It's the same for the background here. So the background doesn't need much, but it needs some tone. And you can see the different hills are sort of different tones, they have different shapes and things. And just using some simple horizontal hatching, that kind of pulls it away from the sea, and it pulls it away from this foreground rock. But it also doesn't overwhelm everything. What I like doing when I'm doing something quite detailed is I like moving between different areas. So I'm actually surprised I got all the brickwork done at once. Normally I'd get a bit sort of stressed and tight doing that and want to move around. But with the birds and the rocks, I'm sort of do a few birds here, do a little bit more rock detail, do a few birds. Got two advantages. One, it keeps me interested, and it means I don't start to just rush and make things a bit fluffy when I am to be a little bit tighter, a bit neater. The other is it lets you build up bit by bit. So you can sort of build up a bit of detail here, build up a bit of detail there, and you never overwhelm one area compared to the other. I started doing a little bit of sea detail here as well, and that's just to get, again, we don't want a huge void of white space, and a tiny bit of texture in there is just enough to start making it sort of sing, make it do its thing. As you can see, I am still jumping around, popping birds here and there, and I use the masking tape at the edge of my paper to practice some shapes before I pop these sort of flying birds in, because I wasn't certain how I wanted to try them. And I do that a few times when I want birds on different angles, so just have a little practice. I want them to be sketchy birds, so I don't want them to be perfect. I want them to be these kind of loose shapes and a little bit interesting. But just having a little practice and saying, oh, does this work, does this not, lets you be a bit more confident when it comes to doing the actual sort of final piece. Having sort of popped in a lot of the details, we can start pulling out some more lines again. And this time, you know, we're adding more tone, so we're adding bold lines, or doing a lot of hatching, or going up and down a lot of times to make things a bit bolder. And the hatching is where you really start to get the shape. So you've pulled out these planes, you've pulled out these parts of rock or parts of whatever facing different ways, and then you need to describe which one's got shadow and which side's got light. And the way to do that is with pen at least, is a little bit of hatching. Obviously you can do that with colour as well, but with line and wash, with urban sketching techniques, it's quite nice to have a combined approach so that we're not just sort of painting by numbers, we've already got some details and interest. So just move around again gently and add little bits here, little bits there. And before you know it, with this kind of bit by bit approach, you can say, yep, my sketch is done. It's important at this point to just stop before you've gone too far. And don't forget that we're adding colours to this, and we can always add some colours. And that is it, that's the end of the sort of first stage. This actually took me about 30 or 40 minutes of careful sketching. I don't want to give away too much, but here's a little sneak preview of the next lesson, the watercolour lesson, which will also be 10 minutes, but really took me 30 or 40 minutes. I absolutely loved how this came out. It's up, as I said at the beginning, on my website as a card, as part of a selection of Lighthouse cards. So do check that out if you're interested. But more importantly, have a go at sketching, have some fun and see what you can do if you take a slightly more detailed and long form approach. Thanks for watching, and I hope the rest of your day is alright.